In my free time, I got the idea to cut down or even completely stop my daily walks, since I've been trying to save time wherever I can. Walking is the last thing you should cut, my wife told me when I mentioned my idea. No way, she continued. That's what recharges you. And she's not wrong, because it's not just about maintaining my weight or even losing a few kilos by walking once or sometimes twice a day. It's not only the physical benefits I get from averaging more than 15,000 steps a day. Walking helps me in another way I didn't expect. It helps my mind. The idea didn't come out of nowhere. Over the past year, I've been dealing with some serious challenges in my work from home business. With the arrival of artificial intelligence and the changes it brought to how my websites operate, I've been forced to tackle a major problem that's affecting my personal finances. As revenue declines, time becomes even more valuable. So I've been trying to steal time from anything I can, just to invest it into fixing the problem. It's not a small amount of time. You don't just reach 10,000 steps a day without effort or without spending time on it. Not that I'm obsessed with counting steps, but since my watch and phone do it automatically, I like knowing the number. My routine starts early in the morning, before sunrise, when I usually walk for about 80 minutes. After that, I might go again in the evening, especially if I have spent the whole day sitting in front of a computer screen. Walking has played a defining role in my daily routine for the past 3 years. It started when I developed a stomach issue and realized I needed to lose weight. I managed to do that by incorporating walking into my everyday life and, of course, by eating less. But as I kept it up, I started noticing all the other benefits, both physical and mental. What began as part of a solution to a health problem eventually became a permanent part of my routine, even after I got better. Honestly, I can't imagine my life anymore without starting my day with a walk. No matter how tired I am or how many things I have on my mind, there's no way I'm skipping it. At least, not in the morning right after I wake up. In fact, when I go to bed at night, I'm already looking forward to waking up and walking by the sea, letting my thoughts drift. Walking isn't a chore for me. It's something that truly lifts my mood. There have been a few days when I skipped walking, but that usually happens only if I'm really sick or the weather is extreme. And even then, bad weather isn't much of an excuse to stay home. Quite the opposite. I love walking in the cold or even in the rain, mostly because there's no one else around. The chill actually helps me think more clearly, kind of like how a computer processor performs better at lower temperatures. But every now and then, the rain can get so heavy that walking becomes almost impossible, more like a struggle than a pleasure. My least favorite thing, holding an umbrella that keeps flipping inside out in the wind. During the first few months of walking, I didn't really have any worries. My life was running smoothly, almost on autopilot, and most of my problems were already solved. So it took me a while to notice how much walking was helping my mental health. Back then, I'd usually listen to a podcast or an audiobook while walking, since it was my time away from the computer, my only unproductive day of the day. From the beginning, I was aware of how much time walking would take, so I wanted to make the most of it. And honestly, it paid off. Everything I listened to and learned during those walks helped me grow. Many of those lessons shaped who I am today and even led to creating this very podcast episode. But during that period, my mind was running at a low gear. Since I didn't have any real problems to solve, I simply enjoyed being outside. That changed around March 2024, when my business started facing serious challenges. From that point on, walking became my escape. On the days when anxiety took over, when I felt the walls closing in around me and the room shrinking, the walk was my breath of air. It wasn't about running away from problems, quite the opposite. During those daily walks, I found solutions I never would have discovered sitting at home, overthinking every worst case scenario. Those thoughts made me extend my walks more and more. At first, an hour felt enough. But there were days I got so lost in my thoughts that I ended up walking for 2.5 hours straight. And it wasn't because I was chasing calorie burn. It was because I had entered what people call a flow state. That mental zone where you lose track of time because you are so engaged in what you are thinking or doing. The result? Well, I wasn't just more productive or better at solving problems. I also ended each long walk in an incredible mood. When I come home after more than an hour and a half of walking, I feel ready to conquer the world. Plus, I have already completed one of my daily missions: burn more calories so I can eat a bit more guilt-free. But the most important part is this: hitting small goals every single day, because those small wins eventually lead to much bigger ones. The best ideas I've had in the past 3 years came to me during my walks, morning or evening. When I think back, it's incredible not only how many ideas I've had, but how actionable most of them were. They didn't just stay as notes in my drafts, I actually made them happen. I doubt I would have found that kind of inspiration sitting between four walls. There's something about fresh air, the sea, and letting your eyes drift toward the horizon. It inspires you in a way a black computer screen never could. And these ideas weren't just about business. They were about how to manage my time better, how to improve my family relationships, or what new exercise to add to my routine for better health. In short, every idea I had revolved around three things: work and money, health, and human relationships. The three pillars that really matter in life. I honestly can't remember going more than 2 days without walking. By the second day, I already feel uncomfortable. Even on rare mornings when I sleep in and skip my usual walk, I keep thinking about it all day. It's not that I have to do it out of obligation, it's that I don't want to deprive myself of that joy. It reminds me of something a friend once told me at the gym. The body remembers. When you stop training and start again, your body quickly adapts, faster than someone who's starting from scratch. I think the same applies to walking, or to any habit we've built. Even if we pause for a while, once we start again, it doesn't take long to get back into rhythm. The hardest part for me about walking is actually when I come back home and I know playtime is over. Maybe that's what walking really is for me. Feeling like a kid again, carefree and light, like the days we played outside with our friends. But once I'm back home, reality kicks in. Responsibilities return. Being a dad, a husband, an adult, every minute that passes, I have to attend to one of those roles. And the child inside me quietly steps aside. That's when the anxiety, stress, and mental pressure of modern life start creeping back in. So naturally, I find myself looking forward to the next walk, the next chance to step outside and breathe again. What really keeps me consistent with walking? Is it habit, discipline, or the need to get some fresh air? I think what drives me to get out every day is mainly the mental benefit I get from walking, and secondarily, the physical one. Sure, by now it's become a habit. I have walked thousands of kilometers. And yes, I do have the discipline to stick with things, as I have proven through my professional life. But I don't think it's either habit or discipline that pushes me out of bed every morning to put on my sneakers and head out into the cold and darkness for an hour and a half. I believe it's the joy walking itself gives me, the anticipation of what I'll think about during the walk and how many new ideas I'll return home with. Walking helps me both creatively and professionally. In my work, many of my best ideas, from reducing hosting costs and migrating some sites from WordPress to Ghost, up to new ways of monetizing traffic through ads or newsletters, all came to me during my walks. Even the idea of running a newsletter completely solo was born out there, step by step. As for creativity, walking made me realize two big things. First, that I don't need more cameras. I already have enough gear to create the content I want. And second, that I should dare to share more of my daily life online, instead of feeling trapped inside my own box. Now that I think about it, every walk I take is a small step outside my comfort zone. I can't say I've made major adjustments to keep walking sustainable in my routine. I rarely change the time I walk and almost never the route. I'm a creature of habit. I don't like change, so I actually enjoy doing the exact same path every day. That repetition allows me to walk almost mechanically, letting my mind wander freely. I even know the bus schedules and the times when heavy trucks pass by, so I can avoid them and enjoy the quiet morning streets. My pace hardly changes, usually about 1 kilometer every 10 minutes. Sometimes I speed up to 8 minutes per kilometer, other times I slow down to 11 when I just want to enjoy the walk. It depends on my mood and on whether I want to burn more calories quickly or have to get back home earlier. The only thing that varies is what I do during the walk. Some days I listen to a podcast episode I have saved. Other days I continue an audiobook. And sometimes I'm so focused on a project that I start working on it mentally, like this very episode, which I began writing this morning on my phone while walking. And all of that just adds extra value to my walks, which already benefit me physically. In essence, I'm hitting several birds with one stone. Walking is also the perfect way to start my day with discipline. If I have the discipline to begin the day exactly the way I want, I'm far more likely to stick to my action plan, whether that means paying attention to my diet, staying productive while working from home, or keeping my focus through the day. And of course, all that discipline and consistency ultimately result in one key outcome: a better mood with my family. Because everything starts in our head. If we are at peace with ourselves, we will naturally be at peace with everyone around us. If I had convinced someone to start walking daily, I would tell them what a friend once told me: do things for yourself. And walking is definitely one of them.